What's up, YouTube? Tonight's video is the second installment of my Gamer Pro Tip series, and today we're going to take a look at how to repair dead Tengen carts for the Sega Genesis. So one thing that many gamers know if they've purchased games made by Tengen for the Sega Genesis is they have a tendency to die, and the cartridge itself will either completely stop working or freeze soon after gameplay is started. Unfortunately, that affects a very great game that was published by Tengen, and that is Grindstormer. This is one of the rarer and excellent shooters made for the Sega Genesis. So what actually breaks on the Tengen cartridges and why they are unique as compared to other cartridges is the PCB that the chip that the game resides on is defective. So today we're going to try a method of repairing our Tengen cartridge, and this also applies to other Tengen cartridges as well. Probably the most other desirable game published by Tengen would be Gauntlet 4, but there are several others that they released for Genesis, and they all suffer the same issue. So to repair this cartridge, we need to remove the ROM chip from this board and transfer it to another board that is comparable configuration. In order to do this, we're first going to need to take apart the cartridge, and to do that you need a security bit driver such as this. You can purchase ones that are just the tip of this and they're easier to maneuver. However, I like the ones that have the handle that just operate like a normal screwdriver. So in the interest of time, I've already taken this cartridge loose by removing the two screws here and here with my security bit driver. And you just need to set those to the side, make sure you don't lose those. They're these little tiny black screws. So once we have removed those screws, you can remove the back of the cartridge, and you will see the printed circuit board. At the top of the printed circuit board, you can see that this is made by Tengen, and it is the proprietary circuit board that all of their games had. So to recap again, the ROM chip on this board is not the issue, and many people think that when these games die, that's what went bad. It's actually just the cheap circuit board that Tengen used. So anytime you see this on the top of the circuit board, or even I think this might be the manufacturer of it, on the other side, which is Multi-Meg, that is your issue. So what we're going to do is remove this ROM chip from the board by desoldering all of these points on the back here on both the Grindstormer cartridge as well as another cartridge that we are going to sacrifice for this purpose. So there is a list of compatible cartridges that have the same pinouts as this PCB that you can swap the ROM chip into. I will post a link to that because it's something I found online. It's not something I created myself. However, I found a cheap compatible cartridge that this should transfer over to. So, most people would probably choose from that list a cheap sports game to sacrifice. However, I chose something that is even more worthy of sacrifice than a cheap sports game. What is that? A cheap educational game. So here we have Mickey's Ultimate Challenge, and if you're like me, educational games are some of the worst things in a gamer's collection that you may have to deal with because they are not fun if you are over the age of, I don't know, 4 to 6, and in most cases even a 4 to 6-year-old would hate learning as they're trying to have a fun video game experience. So this cartridge I've done likewise with. I've removed the two screws on the back so we can remove the back cover. And we see our circuit board for the donor cartridge. What we'll do to start off is remove this ROM chip off of the board by desoldering all of these points on the back. Once that's removed and cleaned up, we will desolder this one, transfer this over to this one, and hopefully we will have a reliable Grindstormer cartridge. This fix can apply to any other Tengen board. And you can see on this board, maybe, Not sure about the reflections here. This one does not say made by Tengen, and this is, you can even tell by the quality of the board we're looking at that it has more detail to it and is more durable. It's heavier than the other one is as well. This is more quality, and this is why these have stood the test of time as compared to the other one. So the other thing you're going to need for this project is obviously a soldering iron. I'm not going to film the desoldering of the back of each of these boards because it is going to take me some time, but I will be back with you shortly, and I will kind of button up where we are with the results, and then hopefully at the end of the video I will have a working Grindstormer cartridge to show off. So bear with me and I will be back with you soon. And we're back momentarily. So just to give you an update on progress, we have desoldered the chip off the donor cartridge. That is now going to be pitched and not reused. I have also desoldered the chip off the Grindstormer board, and we are going to transfer this to this one, then solder it back into place. One tool I didn't mention in our first cut here is the use of a vacuum desoldering pump. And I highly recommend getting one of these. This tip just looks just like a soldering iron. However, the other side is a spring-loaded pump in which you use to suck the solder out of the old board. This ended up being a very valuable tool to get the chip separated because the solder was very strongly in place. So highly recommend getting a tool like that. Like I said, not very expensive, and just something else to add to the project. So next step is to get the soldering iron out and solder this to the new board with fresh solder, and then I will come back and show you how the progress looks, and then hopefully we'll test this out and we'll have a working Grindstormer here shortly. Be back soon. Alright, so time for another update. I have swapped the ROM board over to our new donor PCB. This is our Grindstormer board. Resoldered it into place. Excuse my crappy soldering, I'm not the best at it, but it hopefully will do the job. And then we can go ahead and reassemble this back into our Grindstormer cartridge. Next update, I will plug this in and cross your fingers. Hopefully we will have a working Grindstormer cartridge to play, saving me a lot of money of buying a replacement because this game is not cheap. So cross your fingers again, and I'll be right back with an update, and hopefully we will have a working game to show off. Alright, so moment of truth. We have the Grindstormer cartridge installed into my JVC XI, which is a Sega Genesis and Sega CD-in-1. And we'll go ahead and flip the power on, and let's see how we did. Alright, and that is just what I like to see. So we have a Tengen logo, a Grindstormer title screen, and hopefully a working game. Beautiful. That's good enough for me. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on this process, please take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And I will be happy to provide more of these helpful videos in the future if they are well appreciated. So have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon.